Hi Libra, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of August. It's unbelievable to be saying that I'm doing the horoscopes for the month of August, but the summer has been flying by. So it is what it is, and now we are facing the month of August. And the big news is that Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, re-entered the fixed air sign of Aquarius on July 28th and will be there until December 29th of this year. And this is a fellow air sign. And Jupiter is transiting in your house of romance and creativity and love affairs and self-expression. And this is a really good opportunity for expanding your creative life, your romantic life. If you're single, it's excellent for finding romantic options. If you're in a relationship, it's good for having fun. Saturn, which is the architect of the zodiac, entered the fixed air sign of Aquarius on December 17th of 2020, and it will be there until March 7th of 2023. And it's transiting in your house of romance and love affairs and creativity. And it's in a sense saying that you want to structure what makes you happy and really what makes your heart sing. So really focusing on that. But Jupiter opens doors. It's very social in the sign of Aquarius, and it's really good for connecting and giving options to meet people. So that's a nice energy, very harmonious with your sign. Now, in the beginning of August, the Sun and Mercury are both transiting in the fixed fire sign of Leo in your house of friends and groups and community. And Mars and Venus are both transiting in the mutable earth sign of Virgo in your house of the imagination and spirituality. So a lot of focus on socializing, romance, and having fun, but also expanding and focusing on your spiritual life, really focusing on getting rest. Maybe you're starting to do some form of meditation or spiritual practice and getting enough rest, definitely. So on August 1st, the Sun and Mercury both meet up at 10:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees of the fixed fire sign of Leo. And they meet up in your house of friends and community. This is a very creative energy, but if you're able to lay low, I would recommend it, because later in the day, Mercury opposes Saturn at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that for you could bring friction with friends or arguments or delays. And later in the day at 11:14 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 2nd, the Sun opposes Saturn, and that could bring breakups and endings or reality checks. So just being aware that that's not easy energy. Tap into the creativity. On August 2nd, Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering, stations direct at 8 degrees of the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius. And this occurs in your house of local community and communication and how you think. And it's really about partnering in an expansive way in how you learn. And it's a nice energy. And later on the 2nd, at 11:53 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on August 3rd at 2:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Venus forms a beautiful trine to Uranus, and that is very innovative and inventive, and for you it could be incredibly creative, and it's just a nice energy. Later on the 3rd, Mercury squares Uranus at 9:57 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring challenges with friendships, or it could just be a bit difficult. So expect the unexpected. It's innovative energy, but it could be a little bit turbulent. And then on the on the 6th of August, Chiron, which is the wounded healer, and is transiting in the cardinal sign of Aries, forms a beautiful trine to the Sun in Leo at 6:41 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could help you to but to heal wounds around partnerships or friendships or any type of relationship issues that you may be having. On August 8th, there is a beautiful new moon that takes place at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 16 degrees and 14 minutes of the fixed fire sign of Leo. And this new moon occurs in your house of friends and groups and community. The Sun loves being in Leo. It is in its dignity and it rules the sign of Leo. And this new moon is very powerful. And for you, it's in the house of wishes, whatever you're wishing for. It's an excellent opportunity for networking. If you have your own business, if you're trying to look for a job, if you're trying to find new people to connect with, excellent energy. So really tapping into that new moon. On August 9th, Venus opposes Neptune at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that for you could bring friction at work potentially. Maybe there's some deception that's uncovered or just misunderstandings. And then on August 10th, the Sun forms an opposition to Jupiter at 9:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I imagine that will be much more fun and creative and social because your social houses are being ignited and Jupiter is a benefic, so that's not a negative energy. On August 11th, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, enters the mutable Earth sign of Virgo at 5:57 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it'll be there until August 29th, and it's transiting in your house of the imagination and creativity and dreams. Pay attention to the messages you receive. Work with manifesting if you do so, or you may be getting very strong messages through your daydreams or your dreams. And then on August 15th, Venus, which is the ruler of your sign, enters the cardinal air sign of Libra at 9:27 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on August 16th at 12:27 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is the ruler of your sign. Venus loves being in your sign of Libra. Venus will be transiting in your sign until September 10th. This is amazing energy for you. You will be the belle of the ball. It is really fun for bringing all forms of opportunities, good for dealing with business, financial endeavors. It's very much about centered around love and beauty and partnering with others, and it's very much about harmony. And it's really nice to have Venus in your sign. And if you want to fix up your appearance, if you just want to socialize more, or whatever you want to do with this, this is a lovely energy. So really making the most of it. And then on August 18th, Mars and Mercury meet up at 11:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your 12th house of endings and imagination. That could be maybe something comes up that you think about from the past. It can be combative energy, but I don't think it's going to be that strong for you. And then on the 19th of August, the Sun opposes Jupiter at 8:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that is a really social and fun energy. But the big deal of the day is that Uranus stations retrograde at 14 degrees of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, And we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And that affects your, let's see, for you, that would affect your financial life. Uranus is transiting in your house of joint resources and wounds and healing, but also debt. And for all of us, we feel the chaos and turbulence of Uranus. It is also a very brilliant planet, but it can be very chaotic and unsettling. So that's going on. And then on August 20th, Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Uranus at 4:06 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is a very innovative energy, and that is good for inventiveness for all of us. And then late on the 21st at 11:38 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Mars forms a beautiful trine to Uranus, and that is also good for taking innovative action. And that also occurs the following morning at 2:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is an energy around innovation and creativity, and that looms into the 22nd of August. And then there is a full moon that takes place at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 29 degrees of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And this full moon is only a degree off from Jupiter, the grand benefic. And the full moon occurs in your house of creativity and romance. Hopefully it brings completion. Maybe you've been dating somebody for a while and it brings things to another level. Maybe you've been working on a creative project and it helps to bring that to fruition. I don't think it's going to be particularly an emotional full moon because it is conjunct Jupiter, but it is occurring. And then later that day at 5:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the sun enters the mutable earth sign of Virgo, where it will be until September 22nd. And it'll be transiting in your house of the imagination. So paying attention to your intuition. And then on August 26th, Venus forms an opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer, at 9:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You may be tapping in or feeling some of the wounds around relationships, but this is a good energy for facing that. And later in the day at 10:23 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mercury forms a trine to to Pluto, and that helps to up-level and heal a lot of the wounds and to really produce a transformative effect. So that really helps a lot. And then on the 30th of September, Mercury enters your sign at 1:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it's going to be in Libra for quite some time because it's going to retrograde on September 27th at 25 degrees of Libra. And so it'll be in your sign for quite a while, probably bringing a lot of ghosts from your past, but also helping you to really reassess what you want to organize in your life, what you want to achieve, and what you want to accomplish. A lot of focus on your love life. You've got Venus entering your sign in the middle of the month, which is excellent. So I hope you have a good time, Libra, and thank you very much.